Chasing Tales, Episode 38, Show Your Work.
In the last episode, Pink was betrayed. What is God up to? We rejoin Pink and Cyric in Starlight.
The next morning, Pink and Cyric stand at the edge of the village of Starlight, soaking in the sun, eating an apple each.
So, what do you say? Ready to throw it away?
Not yet. I'm angry, but I need to be sure of why. Who's responsible? And what will be their plan when they know they've failed?
I can the apple.
Oh, here you go.
She hands him the apple core. He tosses it to the piglet the village children are chasing. Talon runs along with them.
So, are you plotting revenge?
Frankly, if anyone here should want revenge, it's you. I have more information to gather before I can even come close.
So, not revenge then?
Well, there are ways to manipulate things so they solve themselves. I have no intention of directly attacking God. Any suffering they do comes from their karma.
Good, because we need to keep the window open for those who want freedom. But how to sneak in and out with them?
You know, if you really want to free them, we should plan to free one particular person. He'll make short work of the current office holder and probably dissolve orders too. The humans will process to their final homes, and the angels will go back to work as usual. That just leaves our friends. All is still alive, right?
As far as I know. This weakens their power base and accomplishes my goals. I like it.
Cyric nods.
Should I send the hunters?
You insult me, sir. I have a team on the other side.
She slaps him playfully. He fakes the head turn and they laugh a little.
It would be nice to stay here, though.
You should. I can't think of anywhere you could do more.
What about my work on Earth? My team, the club? They seem so far away I'd almost forgotten my little family. And what about Jack? I'd miss him an awful lot.
At least on that subject I can help. I have something to tell you. I'm not sure how you will react with your newfound magical freedom.
Well, I'll do my best.
In the club, Jack sits in his office. He leans back for a moment to stretch, his eyes closed. Aislinn suddenly appears, his wings open and glowing, knocking urgently on the desk.
What the? Jesus, Aislinn, you scared the crap out of me. What's going on? Have you heard from Pink?
They say she's dead.
Jack struggles to get upright in the chair.
Whoa. Dead? Dead?
So they tell us.
I gather you don't believe them.
I think they want us to believe that she's dead.
And you came to me because...
She's trapped in Starlight, and she always said you had a remedy, a token, some object.
Jack stands and pats his pockets. He pulls the drawer open and searches for the cube. He sets the cube on the table and pulls the locket from around his neck and sits beside it.
That's not Haven's design, is it?
You got a good eye for artifacts already. But... listen. If you breathe a word of what I'm about to tell you, I will personally make you live tied to a rock with a raven as your best friend. Capiche?
Colorful. I got it.
This magic comes from my system.
Your system? What are you saying?
Well, I'm an outsider. And what's more...
In the village, Cyric and Pink sip tea. Talon enjoys a sip and puts it down to go run with the other gangly kids in the road. Pink smiles to herself.
What were you saying about Jack, Cyric?
Jack is an outsider. And you are his sister.
Pink shakes her head, nearly dropping the glass. In the club, Aislinn stands silent while he does the math. He recovers quickly. It's not the most impossible thing he's heard.
So what does this cube thing do?
The clock in the front room chimes noon.
Noon? I have to go. I'll be back.
In Haven, Aislinn slides into the small group of memorial attendees. He sees Thane in the shadow of his black umbrella. Lachesis stands close to him. There are representatives from other places he doesn't recognize. Lucy is even here, in widow's weeds, grinning like a Cheshire cat. He can sense Metatron too, but cannot see her. The sun is bright in Fountain Park, and the flowers are glorious today. Aislinn touches Otto's shoulder.
Pink always loved this place.
Otto nods, feeling guilty. Somehow this had to be his fault. Aislinn nudges him and pointed out Noid, as he and his angel slide onto the scene. They stand away from the rest of his party under the angel statue of Minalien, its wings spread in protection. There were two others he could have chosen that were closer. Coincidence? Or was this choice significant? He thinks about it and shakes his head.
Probably a coincidence.
In the office, Jack grows anxious of waiting for Aislinn to come back. He unhooks the locket from its chain, slowly, to pass some time. He sets the locket down and stares at it. He checks his watch. He walks outside and smokes a cigarette. He talks to Al, the bartender, and then makes up his mind. He cannot wait. He sets the locket in the depression on top of the cube. He waits for it to stabilize. He blows on it gently, and it spins, making a soft humming sound. In starlight, Pink and Sirik perk their ears. Pink waits for something to happen. Then suddenly, she can hear Jack's voice.
Pink? Pink! Can you hear me?
Jack, how did you find me?
A big brother always knows.
Pink looks at Sirik and makes an excited face. Sirik shields them from being overheard on the either side, and lets them talk it out. In Thane's office, Ratty is doing paperwork. His ink-stained little claws scratch at the paper. Pink's hourglass sits on the desk. It flips itself. He watches the sand run for a moment. Ratty shakes his head. He looks back at the hourglass. It has flipped back, dead and still. He shrugs his bony shoulders and dips his claw in the ink. He goes right back to work.
Jack, how did you find me?
In Fountain Park, Aislinn's head jerks up and he locks ethereal eyes with Thane, who clearly heard Pink's voice. Thane looks around to see if anyone else noticed. The last bells chime. Thane leaves Lachesis and crosses to Aislinn.
Oi! Did you hear it?
Yes.
Meet me at the villa later.
Yup.
With that, Aislinn ports back to the club.
Did you get her?
Aislinn, I have so much to say right now, I wish I could just transfer everything at once.
Look, it's starting to wind down. You don't have much time.
I need to do some legwork. I've got a theory, but I need more information. Hang tight and I'll have a strategy for you soon.
Jack pops in again.
I'll have to find another cube. It'll take a few days.
Okay, Jack, good luck.
The silence rushes in where they had been. Pink waves away the shielding, and Sirik stands, looking innocent.
Sirik?
Jack's just showing his work. He's been waiting for the right moment. And what's time when you want to return, alright? I am sorry it took so long.
Pink had a lot to think about. Her new family, her old family, her team, and now, her loyalties?
Can we go see the hunters?
Sure, I can eat.
At the club, Jack and Aislinn huddle over the cube as it fades. Aislinn nods his head.
Jack, how long have you been sitting on this?
At least 420 years. Took that long to find her. She ran away because she was so sure living as a human would be more exciting. She was young, had no idea what it would mean. Being born into a human body stripped her of everything she knew before. Then, with Haven's suppression protocols, I had to wait for the perfect moment. Now, she's found herself flooded with new intel. Keep your eyes open, and be careful who you trust. Pay attention to those closest to Pink for your guide.
Sounds good. Say, do you know who Minalien is?
Yeah, he's the captain of the Angelic Hosts army. When the new god came, he retired. He refused to serve him. You may have some trouble finding him, though. What made you think of him?
At the memorial in the park, Noid chose to stand in the shade of Minalien's wings. I can't help thinking it was intentional.
Talk to Noid.
Aislinn ports away. Jack sits down to get some work done. A trip to Starlight is now needed. Aislinn stands outside the meditation hall, leaning on the large blue, white, and gold horn that dominates the courtyard. The gong sounds for the end of the session, and students file out. Aislinn goes into the hall and bows before Noid.
How can I help you, Aislinn?
It's a matter of privacy. I came to invite you to Pink's. When can you come?
Tonight, 6.
Thank you.
Students for the next session file in quietly and find their cushions. Aislinn exits the courtyard. He touches the great horn for good luck and ports away.
Pink has suddenly found her true family and herself. Will she leave Haven and Earth behind? Aislinn has some snooping to do, and Otto must come to grips with his part. Stay tuned for the next exciting episode of Chasing Tales, Making Waves.